Welcome to On the Wandering Road. I'm your host, Tim McCurry. Today we're going to be diving into what is worship. So in our modern context, we're constantly looking for the next big thing, but often what's new for us isn't an invention that's never been heard of before. It's simply a truth so profound that it's new to our personal understanding. Sometimes the best new insight is actually an old insight. And today we're going to dig into a very old idea about worship. This is drawn from one of the more complex books of the Bible, and that would be the book of Revelation. The context of what we're going to be taking from is from Revelation chapter 4 and 5. So you're more than welcome to go there. So this is kind of just a quick overview of what's actually happening here. And what prompted this was actually a sermon I overheard using the book of Revelation, specifically 4 and 5, to describe a worship scene. And it brought up some interesting questions for me that I thought I would want to share. So John is giving us a spectacular vision of a heavenly throne room. It's chaotic, it's alive, and it's deeply symbolic. Why is it so complicated? Why did John make this so complex? Because John is trying to describe the divine economy of God, an entire way of life, his culture and social agreement of how reality works. And the human brain simply cannot grasp this as a whole. So it has to be given to us in ways that we can understand information through symbolic nature. What John is seeing is the Lord Jesus uniting kingship and priesthood, sacrifice and unity at the very heart of existence. It's an unfolding of divine way of life, not just a static image. But as we look deeper, one of the words that is used here, which is used often in the Old and New Testament, is the word proskuneo. And I may be saying that wrong. I'm not a Greek scholar, so you'll have to forgive me. And what that word actually means is to kiss towards. And it describes the act of physical reverence. It originated from customs of prostrating oneself before a superior to kiss their feet, their garment, or even the ground. It is the act of bowing down and giving worth to something. And John describes this as people are casting their crowns before the Lord. So that's quite a different perspective and definition of what we use worship for in our more modern context. So we often think of worship as a means of singing, quiet meditation, or maybe even an emotional experience with God. While all those things are true and good, they are not the only pursuit of what worship is. Basically, this is not the fullness of worship. It is a part of worship, but it is not the fullness of worship. In our modern society, we're very individualistic and we are very emotionally driven. So we are looking for an experience that can connect emotionally with us. And again, there's nothing wrong with that. I think that is one major part of what worship is experiencing God, and He can touch our emotions deeply. But that's not all. There is more to it. The other word that is used in the Bible is called latreia. Paul uses it in Romans 12:1 when he says, I plead with you to give your bodies to God because all He has done for you. Let them be living and holy sacrifices, your bodies be living and holy sacrifices, the kind He will find acceptable. This is truly the way, or latreia, to worship Him. Some translations say service to him. That's because the roots of latreia actually go back to the word work. In classical Greek, it referred to the service performed by hired laborers. When the Old Testament was translated into Greek, latreia was used for the Hebrew word avodah. Avodah means simply work or service. So you see there is a connection not just with adoration, not just falling down or having an emotional experience, but that there is a service that is going on here. In an ancient Near Eastern context, this is much different. So they are actually serving and worshiping their God through pleasing him. It is not just an experience, but it is an act of working and service for that God. This is where the divine economy is a whole social structure of how things work. So keep in mind that avodah means worship through work. And now if you look at Genesis 2:15, God commands Adam to tend and keep the garden. The Hebrew verb used there is abad, which is the root word of avodah. Adam's first task on earth was to worship God by working in the garden. He was not just a gardener, he was the first priest. They were people that serviced the gods. They actually took care of them. They took food and water and made sure those gods were pleased. So priests were in service of the God, and that service was an action. So this is where we connect priesthood to Adam, because Adam's first act was actually a priestly act because he is serving God. He is doing an action of service for God. A priest was a mediator who served the gods by caring for their earthly dwelling place. Adam, by tending God's garden, his earthly residence, was functioning as a priest, mediating heaven and earth through his work. So what does this mean for us in today's context? The Revelation chapter shows us a scene where worship is not just an emotional escape from the world. It is the unfolding of a divine culture. Our worship, or latreia, goes beyond the song and meditation. It goes into the tending of the garden God has given you. So my question to you is, what is your garden? Is it your marriage or your career, your neighborhood, your art, or your business? Whatever it is, you are called to give it back to God as a living and holy sacrifice. As an act of worship, this is the true meaning of the Lord's Prayer. Your kingdom come, your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. It's a statement of divine worship as Christ's authority manifests in the divine habitation of your life and your work. And that's all I've got. I hope you enjoyed this. This is very new for me. If you don't mind, hit the like button. I would appreciate it. Everybody have a blessed day, and thanks for listening to On the Wandering Road.